Hi there, it's rocksKING, and I'm here to lend my voice to a topic that has been causing some confusion in the music industry. And what am I talking about exactly? How do you pay a music producer? Somebody walks into my studio and says, "How much do you produce?" And I say, "I take so in an amount, in addition to royalty splits." What is royalty split? A royalty split is a share in the money that comes from a piece of music as people are enjoying the music. When you have your music out there on streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and all of that, as people are listening, money is paid to the makers. Listen to me, I didn't say maker, to the makers. At least that's how it ought to be of that music. And the makers of the music include the artists and the producer. The person you see is the performer and the artist. But the songwriter may be somebody totally different, and you may not know him. But as obscure as he may be, he's very, very much entitled to the earnings that come from the exploitation of that music. I'm not going to dive into details. Hopefully, if you're able to understand what I'm saying now, then it opens your eyes to be able to understand the bigger details. And what exactly am I talking about? I want to distinguish between the two major roles of a music producer. So a music producer is a service provider, and he's also somebody who gives out intellectual input. He makes intellectual input, and also he provides a service. Sometimes he does the two of them. Other times he just does one. Which one is the most foundational one he does? It is the intellectual input he makes. Alright, so what's the difference? I'm talking about service and I'm talking about an intellectual input, alright? Let's take, for example, somebody who runs a media company, let's say a video editor, which also I am. You bring some footage to me for editing, and I charge you an amount of money. I edit your footage and I give you the final product. You owe me nothing. I just provided my editing service to you. So that is a service. But a music producer is a service provider and more. Let me explain that. So you come to my studio, you want to produce a song, and then I pull up all my, equipment, my keyboard, my drums, and my guitar, my computer, and I begin to press all those buttons. I begin to hit this, blow that. That's a service I'm rendering. But what if somebody else was there telling me, play this chord, play this drum beat at so tempo, arrange the music like that? You can see now that I'm not using my idea. I'm using their idea. I'm only providing a service, implementing the idea that somebody else has given me. So in that case, I wouldn't even call myself a producer. I could just call myself a musician. That's it. You pay me, I play, and you go. And then when it's time for mixing, I just mix, and give you. In that case, I don't think I'm entitled really to a share of royalty. All right. The real producer is not me, but the person giving me the ideas of what to play. But many a time, a producer has a wealth of experience when it comes to composition. So talking about composition, I want to differentiate between composition and songwriting. So the most important element in any piece of music is the songwriting. So most artists are also the songwriters. They come with their songs already written. And then in songwriting, there are two major elements which include the lyrics. Also the melody. For example, if I say, "Arise, O compatriots," that's the lyrics. But when I begin to go, da 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 da, that's the melody. So when you put them together, you get a song which sounds, "Arise, O compatriots." Now, many artists are able to write songs, but when it comes to composing music is different from writing a song. So composing music has to do with writing a song as well as attaching musical accompaniment to that song. Musical accompaniment includes a bass line, chord, depending on the genre of the music, all right? But let's assume standard pop music. So bass line, chord progression, arrangement, sequence. We have intro, we have verse, determining when we should have an interlude, the number of repetitions to keep your listener engaged. There are certain arrangements you make, and then the music is just not interesting, it's boring. But the way you advance the song, you bring this in first for only once or twice or three times, works on how the person is able to sit down and enjoy the music as it unfolds. So all of that contributes to what we call composition. And many a time, your producer does that probably better than you. In fact, many artists, they come and they tell you, put the chorus 4 times. And then after the second verse, put the chorus again 8 times. Yeah, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. But really, when it comes to arrangement, sometimes artists suck. Now, listen, sometimes the musical accompaniment, earlier I talked about the song itself and then the musical accompaniment, right? Now, sometimes the musical accompaniment is part of the song's integral makeup. For example, if I begin to hum a tune like dun da dun da, dun da dun da, dun da da da, da 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 da, da 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 da. Who knows that song? Who knows the song? I've not even sung a lyric, but you know the song I'm talking about. It is African Queen by Two-Face Idibia. Now, that arpeggio you're hearing is an integral part of the song. There are bass lines. If I'm doing, I don't know what's bass line I can play, especially for some reggae music, dum do 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 dum 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 do 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 dum dum dum. You know the song. If you know, you know. The Gen Zs might not know, but you see, some of these elements become strong parts of the music that they can be considered parts of the songwriting. If your song goes very viral, I'm telling you, you won't be able to now separate the beat from the song. Therefore, a producer, in that case, is not just giving you his service. He's also giving you his intellectual property. There are artists who also know what they want in terms of how the music should be, but maybe they don't have the skill to implement, maybe to play the keyboard. Sometimes they bring a keyboardist, they bring a drummer, and they tell them what to play. So what the producer does now is take on the role of an engineer. When they perform, he records. So the producer now is mostly the artist himself. Are you getting it? They come to the producer because he has the technical know-how on how to put this thing together. All right. So especially when it comes to the mixing phase, tweaking things around and mastering. So a producer is paid for 2 things. One, his service, which I think I have clarified. And then secondly, also his intellectual idea, which now brings me to another part of this discussion. I hope you know that intellectual property does not have a particular value. I mean, you can't really value it. Just the same way an artist continues to earn from that song as the song continues to bless people and change people's life, the producer also is entitled to the same. All right, so I'm not going to go into breaking down the different types of royalties, the types of, talking about publishing and all of that. You just go and learn it up. Or probably I can make another video, on that topic. But for now, I'm trying to tell you that a producer is paid an upfront fee. So when you come and he charges you, he's charging you for using his studio. He charges you for his energy that he's putting in at that time. He's charging you for his equipment that you are using to be able to maintain that equipment, the air conditioner in that studio that is chilling your body as you are recording, the cushion you're sitting on, everything that is facilitating the possibility of that recording. That's what you're paying for. You're paying to put food in his tummy for that very moment. Because after a moment or a while, all that money you pay him is going to be used up. It will be as if you've not even paid him anything. All right? So that's why it's called an advance. It's also called an upfront fee or something like that. But it's never called payment. The money you pay a producer in the studio is not called payment. Are you getting it? So the actual payment, if you really love and respect your producer, if you really want him to also have a life and a living, just like you, beyond the moment of that production, then you better offer him royalty splits. In fact, it is his right. It is standard practice in the music industry. So music business is different from every other kind of business. So welcome to music business. I hope this made it clear to you. Another thing artists ask is, the producer is not going to be doing promotion. I'm the one that will go about making sure the song goes out there and he's just chilling in his studio and receiving royalties. That is why the artist also has a bigger share. So the producer gets royalties, all depending on the involvement of the producer. So this is subject to negotiation. So when you want to give your producer royalties, be well informed and negotiate with him. If you know he's going to be well involved, then offer him reasonable royalty. Otherwise, you offer him a lower percentage of royalty. Are you getting it? So I hope this video helped to clarify things. If you have any questions, if you disagree with anything I said, if you think I'm in error, just comment down below and probably I'm going to make another video, or probably comment also, reply to your comments to put everything straight. So thank you. See you soon.